Good. I'd like to welcome everyone who is here today. By God's grace, my name is Adeolu Akiyemi, and my responsibility is to introduce speaker after speaker as they come, the way that I know them. Of course, this is somebody that I know very well. This is Temitope Akinyemi. She's a pharmacist by training. She's the MD of Mother Natural Products PLC. She's providing leadership for that organization that is behind the scenes creating the product values, the product contents, the product marketing details for us to push out the reader range of products. And hopefully in a few days to come, a few other brands will be emanating from that category of that company as well. Over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to be having a variety of discussions on leadership. And what we want MI to speak to today is, why is leadership important? Why should you dedicate the next 5-6 weeks to learning about leadership and learning how you can, basically take in leadership to drive your business better, to achieve significant things in your life and in all dimensions of your life? Why is leadership so important? So, Emma, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be in your faces today, to be on your phones, on your laptops, on your device. It's my pleasure to be with you tonight. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, I think one of the things we'll do is, once it's time for you to speak, I'll just mute and then you go on your side.
Okay.
Yeah, because there seems to be a little bit of a lag, but not a problem. So we'll switch it. So very quickly today, what I'd like us to start this conversation with is, why is leadership important? What are the things that are lined up for us over the course of the next few weeks? And why is it important for everyone in this room today and their team members and people that are not around, predominantly the people within Green Monday and the Green community? Why should they take leadership as important? What are the key things that they should look out for?
Okay, yeah. So I think I would ask again, why is leadership not important? I mean, it's a no-brainer that leadership is important, but I mean, we are going to state the obvious here tonight. We understand that when we're dealing with fellow adults, there's really nothing that is new. I mean, I'm here in your faces today. I'm not going to tell you anything that you've not heard before. I'm basically going to bring to your remembrance, things that you've always known, or bring them to your remembrance, bring them to your greater consciousness, so that you can have it there in the forefront and begin to take actions that would make you a more effective leader, and also help you to be able to raise several other leaders as well. So leadership obviously is extremely important. Is really, really important. And I would start, I mean, if you look at different aspects of society, you will see that leadership is so important so that we don't have chaos. I mean, that's the first thing. I mean, forget about vision and all the things we talk about in corporate societies or corporate organizations and things like that. Let's just put that on one side. We're coming to that, but I mean, just look at society, look at everywhere. Leadership is first and foremost important so that we have order, so that we don't have chaos. You've seen in a few cases when you have chaos, the effect of having chaos will cause a lot. There'll be a lot of loss of lives, loss of property. It's just marked by things that you don't even want to experience. So when you have leadership, you first of all have order. Whether the leader is now effective or not becomes secondary. But I mean, you have some measure of decorum, or you have some form of order when you have leadership. But taking it from what we've known for years and years before we understood leadership to mean one thing. Our leadership, well, maybe one or two things. Basically, we understood leadership to be vision. Anyone who could picture a future, who could set a goal, who could set direction, was known as a leader. And every other person was made to feel not like a leader. But I mean, as years came into, as we went year after year, we discovered that it's not only the person who is able to set direction that is a leader. And that's what makes me really excited when I look at this, what we have lined up for the next 5 weeks. We have some E's, some words that describe who a leader is. It's not cast into stone. Before we used to we had a stereotype. I mean, that was what we had before. We had a stereotype of who a leader needed to be. And then we used to talk down on some people. We used to say, oh, no, this person is not a leader and all of that. But in time, we've discovered that there are different styles of leading people. And there are different, there are different pieces of a whole. And those are the things that we're going to be looking at in the next couple of weeks. So leadership is important, of course, to have order, to be able to have direction, and when you have direction, then you can begin to have the different pieces of the puzzles, which is what we're going to be looking at in the next couple of weeks. I don't know whether I should speak to that as well.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so of course, we know that for you to be able to go in a particular direction, you must see where you're going. So that's important. It's important that as a leader, you must see possibilities. And first of all, you must see possibilities around you, but also very importantly, if you are going to be a leader of people, you must be able to see possibilities within people as well. Okay, and it takes a lot of believing in people who don't look believable, and that's why I like the industry that we're in. The industry takes the ordinary person, takes the person from a nobody, literally, trains the person, sees the possibilities, take them from point A to point Z, and then it looks like overnight. In 3 years, 5 years, the person looks like a superstar, and that's why I like the industry that we play in, the network marketing industry. Actually, the earnings that we have, the thousands and the millions and all of that we earn, they are byproducts of the real thing. Okay, this industry is an industry that is set to build, train, and raise leaders. Okay, and that's important. And it's important, before you can raise a person, you must be able to see that this person has what it takes to be a leader. So, okay, so there's a possibility, seeing the possibility in that person, and then taking that to ensure that the person is built to become who a leader should be. So we have Envision, and we're going to be having the MD of Grand Cereals. He's been here before to speak to us during the course of the lockdown. We're going to be having the privilege of having him speak to us again. He's going to be speaking to us about Envision, and we all know that Envision is important. Many of us here in Nigeria, if you live in Nigeria and you've been abroad before, you just tell yourself, you ask yourself sometimes, these are leaders. Don't they go abroad? Don't they see what's happening? We all talk about Dubai and how Dubai was and how Dubai is today, and the power of vision and all of that. It's a no-brainer that vision is important. If you can think it, and it's not the physical eyes, it's being able to envision from within. If you can think it, then it is achievable. That's what envisioning is really all about. Then we have enlist and engage. And that's where what I spoke about earlier comes into play. To say, okay, if I have a vision, I must be able to enlist people to take certain roles, engage them, and not say, oh, this person has a strong personality, then this is a leader. This person doesn't have so much of a strong personality, then this is not a leader. I must be able to understand what this person's strengths are and be able to enlist the person, engage the person based on his strengths and weaknesses, so that the person grows and really becomes a leader in spite of his personality. And we're going to be having details of that, in the course of time by Mr. Alex Goma. He's going to be taking us on Enlist, Engage, and Envision.
I think that's interesting. And I think it's interesting that over the next few weeks, and I think 5 weeks, if I'm correct, we're going to have speaker after speaker trying to shape our psychology on the concept of leadership. And I think, like what Emma has said, leadership is very important. And there's something that John Manzo used to say, that everything rises and falls on leadership. Why is Nigeria the way Nigeria is? Leadership. Why don't we have power? Why don't we have good health systems? We will always blame leadership. That the first person to get it right in every environment. Some people say maybe it's institutions, lack of institutions. You and I know that it is leaders that build institutions. So I'm going to comment on what Emma just shared about and I'm just going to take it off from there and talk about the other ones. What does it mean to envision? And we don't want to preempt the speakers. Say there's echo. Maybe you should. Thank you. See. Is it better now? Can you hear one voice now? Okay, great. So once we switch that, I just like. So, excellent. So I want to just pick a point and talk about that envision. that for anything to go correctly, the first place where some order begins to happen is with vision, with the leader. The leader is able to cast a vision of a desirable future. There is nothing that wakes up our latent energy as much as a clear vision. So, for example, I like what the Bible says. It says, for lack of vision, the people cast off restraint. What does that mean? It means where vision is not compelling, people will be tired. Where vision is not sharp and distinct, people will be lazy. Okay, people perish for lack of vision. People are not able to rise to the height of their potentials because they are not clear about where they are going. Now, the moment the vision is clear, all the energies that makes that vision possible becomes available. Somebody says provision is provision. That is when you have vision, at the time that vision is there, once you have the vision, after the vision, the vision is where provision comes in. That it is your vision that creates every other resource you will need to accomplish it. And I want to ask you, in your business, do you have vision? And as you know, gone are the days where you think a leader is somebody who has political posts, who has political office. A leader is not somebody who has political office. A leader is someone who has a vision. A leader is somebody who is clear enough about where they are going and is able to enlist others in that same exciting journey. So, for example, look at our Green Monday business. The day you become a leader is the day you look at the power of 4 table and you see yourself in that table. Because when you see yourself in that table, you see the vision that is possible, you see the future that you can achieve, you are able to now take your team and also ensure that they can see that vision. Because one of the things that leadership does is that leaders cast a vision. So before you will lead others, the first person you need to lead is yourself. And I want to ask you today, as we look at all these key elements and tell you why this is important, it is important that you are able to catch a vision, catch a big vision, catch a clear vision, so that when you run, you will not run with restraint. You will run undeterred, unhindered. You will run with passion. You will run with accuracy, and you will run to achieve an objective. You know, many people just start out things and they are, I'm just, let me buy a reader. Let me take, no. Leaders envision others. And the first vision that they catch is to envision for themselves as well, so that they can lead themselves. I tell people, if you have not won your private victory, you will have no public victory. If you have not learned how to lead yourself and use a vision to get yourself out of bed, then you can't cast vision for anybody else. In the morning when you wake up, you ask yourself, today is going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to achieve mighty things today. What are you doing? You are crafting the vision of your day that makes you energized enough to leave your bed. So Emma is going to be sharing with us, the people we have lined up, the topics we have lined up, a little tidbit here. We have a few minutes today. It's just about the introduction, really. Just to introduce you to what this is about and why this is important. And then after this is done, we'll tell you why you need to be on the Google Classroom page, why you need to be, I can see already that there are about 20 students there, why you need to be a student there. So while Emma shares with us, I'm going to be putting the links in the chat box so that you can begin to do the needful as well.
Okay. So the next characteristic of a leader is that a leader empowers. Okay, if you have been around and you've known CM for some time, you will know that his logo is empower. And just before you start thinking, okay, empower and vision, are they not the same things? I mean, what's the difference between vision and empower? They're all characters of a leader, and you'll find a bit of everything in everything, actually. They all form the whole picture of who a leader is. Okay, when a person is empowered, the person is not just told, okay, we're going to Shomolu, we're going there now, so let's go. I mean, that is more than that. A leader that empowers provides tools, provides enablers and things that will help the person able to move in the direction of where they're going. Okay, so for example, we say, okay, in Green Mondays, this is what we want to achieve. We want to be able to have prospects that will talk about our business. We want to be able to do this and do that, but we don't have tools to do that. We don't have PowerPoint presentations. We don't have slides. We don't have different things that we can share with our prospects. Then we're not empowered to be able to do what we want to do, okay? So, when a leader empowers, a leader provides tools, okay, to be able to have the people working with them to do that vision that has been cast before them. So a leader empowers. A leader is not the taskmaster, okay? That says, okay, we're going to Shomolu and then we're going now. Guys, let's go. okay, and we don't have a means to move, we don't have systems in place to ensure that if someone gets weak on the way, we don't have anything in place really to ensure that we're moving as a team. Okay, a leader truly empowers so that the people within the team are able to move over the long haul. Okay, and coming to talk to us about empowerment is Mr. Ademola Omitayo, the marketing director of British American Tobacco. These are companies that are they are multinational companies. Okay, they've had experiences from different countries of the world, teaching leadership, living leadership, and they will come with case studies, examples of cases where they have led people, and I'm sure there are things that we can learn from as well. Okay, so very quickly we'll go into leaders encourage and energize. Leaders encourage and energize. One of the things I mentioned earlier is the fact that sometimes, like CM also mentioned earlier, people have this perspective about leaders. A leader has a title. I'm sure you've seen that book before, Leaders Without a Title, or Leadership Without a Title. We understand that you can lead from behind. Okay, there's a lot you can do without apparently having a title. Okay, so we have leaders encourage and energize. Whether we like it or not, we know that it's possible. Even when we have a vision, there is the propensity or the tendency to get tired along the line. So what does a leader do? A leader has systems in place to ensure that people along the line are encouraged. Okay, still focusing on the same vision, having the same vision in view, but with encouragement, making them see, okay, we're going to Ruby Director. Where we're going is Black Diamond, but today we're at 1 star. Okay, 1 star, we can make it to 4 star. And then we're going one step at a time. We're encouraging ourselves as well. Okay, so having the capacity to encourage and energize starts from doing so for myself, and also doing it for other people within my team as well. Somebody says that the voice is breaking. If you can hear me clearly, please type in the chat box, yes, 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 yes. I want to be sure that people are hearing me properly. Okay, so, okay, yeah, people can hear me. So coming to talk to us about encourage and energize is Mr. Kachi Onogbogu. He's a group executive director, TGI. Okay, he'll be coming to talk to us about leaders. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can hear me. Okay, he's coming to talk to us about leaders encourage and energize. And I would just like to say a little bit again. What I mentioned earlier is to say that sometimes we have some short bursts. Yeah, I have some short bursts. I achieve a result and then I relax. That's a normal human tendency. But leadership is saying we have a vision. Okay, we didn't set out Agree Monday to quit at 1 star. Nope, we didn't set out on this journey to quit at 3 star. We're going all the way. But if along the line somebody stays off, or somebody shuts down, or somebody relaxes at 2 star, I'm not going to go at the person and say, hey, guy, why are you so weak? Will you just move already? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to encourage the person, taking a look at where you're coming from and saying, hey, you did it from this to this. Let's do this. This is why we set out for this in the first place. Our goal is financial freedom. Our goal is passive income. We want to be able to retire with this business at so spot. Yes, we can do it. Let's do it. That's what leaders do. They encourage and they energize. Okay, so I'll take one more before I get CM to come in again. Leaders educate. Leaders, I particularly like this point of leaders educating. Yeah. I think a number of us probably grew up having leaders back out orders. I'm sure, you've heard that from time to time. Leaders just back out orders. Leaders sit down behind a very large table with a golden pen and with, everything is just spick and span. They just sign the checks. That's what a number of us probably thought and had in mind while we're growing up that leaders were supposed to do. But here we have another characteristic of leaders, as leaders being people who educate others. Now, from time to time in the business school groups or in some of our Agree Mondays groups, we hear people asking questions. For example, somebody asks and says, how do I convince somebody? I want to be able to convince this person to join my Agree Mondays business. He's a big man. I hear that from time to time. Or he has a good job, or he hates network marketing. How do I convince him to join our business? Okay, we hear that from time to time. And I'm very quick to answer that question by telling people, you don't need to convince people, simply educate people about what the industry is all about. Okay, you discover that for some of a number of people have had, based on experiences of their family members or their own experience or whatever, they've had experiences that are not so exciting about the industry, and they formed an opinion about it. And all you need to do is not convince them to join your business, is educate them about what the industry is and what the industry is not. Okay, so leaders, in being able to properly educate people, are actually empowering them. Okay, so like I said earlier, each forms a part of a whole. When you educate a person, the person is empowered to be able to move without being handheld all the way. Do you understand? Now, yeah, so I mean, if a person has knowledge, the person knows what to do, the person is educated, the person is able to move without looking right and, oh, my upline is not here, my leader is not here. The person is able to move without being handheld every step of the way. So leaders educate. A leader takes what they know, a leader takes what he knows and pours it into the people that he's working with in the team. So if you are in a team and you are the superstar of your team, then you are here to really, really be a good leader, okay? You want to give yourself a goal to ensure that all that you know and all that you're yet to know is taught to people on your team. Okay, so leaders educate. So we're going to have someone who has been here to teach us before, speak to us here before. He's a mentor of the house, Mr. Adekunle Ogunwomoju, the technical director of Farm Support. He'll be speaking to us about leaders educate. If you know him and you remember him, you know that he's a layer by layer kind of person, okay? And I like him so much. He teaches, he trains, he educates, and you know, you're empowered by what you know. Okay, so CM, I think over to you before I go. Okay.
Okie dokie. I hope you're still there and you're hearing me. Can you still hear me? If you can hear me loud and clear, just say yes. Okay, great. I hope you have muted. Okay, excellent. So I'd like to ask a question today as we try to bring today to a wrap. And the question I want to ask today is, if you're a leader in the house, you believe you're a leader, I'd like you to do something for me. If you're a leader in the house, I'd like you to type in that window, type 1, 2, 3. If you are a leader, type 1, 2, 3. Now, very good. You know, in Nigeria, whenever we have a problem, we'll say it's leadership. It's our leaders. It's our leaders. You know, many times we don't realize that by putting 1, 2, 3, you're saying that I am the problem of Nigeria. And I believe very strongly that one of the things that we need to radically transform in Nigeria is our perspective and our perception of leadership and our responsibility towards leadership. That, ladies and gentlemen, if the 70, 20, 30 of us in this room can really become leaders, take on the responsibility of leadership, things will begin to change around us. If we can focus on our circle of influence and not worry about our circle of concern, as we begin to grow within our circle of influence, our influence will continue to increase. Okay? The places that we can influence, we can impact, will continue to increase. And before we know what's going on, we'll be leaders of repute. Now, the reason why we're having this course on growing your leadership, and we're bringing the MDs, the leaders, the biggest deals in different organizations, and you can find a few of them there, is because if you can grow your leadership, your business will follow. If you can grow your leadership, your family will follow. If you can grow your leadership, your ministry, if you have ministry to reach out to people and be a blessing to lives, it will follow as well. If you can grow your leadership, your influence in education, your influence in community, your influence politically will grow. Leadership is one key skill that is required by people to have in every phase of life, every dimension of life, to rise to the top and be able to carry along others. You know, people live from school, and they live as engineers, they live as scientists, they live as medical doctors, and then they serve in an organization. For them to be able to take leadership in those organizations, they need to learn the skill of leadership. And leadership is not something you are born with. Leadership is something you can learn. Leadership is something that grows. And if you see the lineup here, we have the MD of Paradigm Initiative. They currently have 6 outlets across Africa. They are growing well. They are growing strong. It is by leadership. You have the MD of Grand Serial. He's growing the organization. He has thousands of people that he's working with. It's by leadership. You have the marketing director of AB, I think it's AB InBev. Also on the board of AB InBev. Somebody is a good friend. She's the marketing director. They are growing their brands in the East. They are growing their brands in the West. They are growing their brands, premium brands. They are growing the lower brands. They are getting significant market share. It is all about leadership. We have here the MD of what's it called now, of Southern Foods, of GB Foods, the makers of Bama, makers of some categories of what's it called now, all this ketchup and things that you take with food. They are growing their market share. They are growing farms in Nigeria. They are getting rich into a number of countries around the world. It is all a function of leadership. And guess what? How do you grow your leadership? You grow leadership by rubbing minds with leaders, by listening to them, by asking them questions, by engaging with them. Your leadership grows. And ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything we would like people to build in this business, is their leadership. Guess what? Because if you build your leadership, your business will grow. The reason why your organization just has 10 people is because that's the level of leadership that you have. The reason why your organization has, and this is important, the reason why your organization has 1,000 people is because your leadership has grown for you to be able to lead 1,000 people. You know, don't pray to God and say, God, give me 1,000 team members, give me 10,000 team members, that I will earn $1 million. Pray that God will grant you insight to grow your leadership. Because when your leadership grows, your followership will grow as well. When you grow as a leader and you have a clear vision, people will buy into that vision. When you grow as a leader, and you have clarity of what you're doing, you'll be able to engage people and enlist them in what you want to achieve. A leader doesn't need to be able to do what he has set out to do. Yeah? A leader needs to only be able to enlist others. Look at Jesus Christ. Was Jesus Christ able to go around and preach to the whole of Israel or the whole of the world by himself? No. But what did he do? As soon as he was clear about his mandate, he had a very clear vision. The kingdom of God is at hand. Repent. I'm here because of God's kingdom. He quickly engaged and enlisted 12 people. He grew that group to 70, grew that group to 120, died, rose, and left a group in the earth who continued the work after he left. It is about engaging and enlisting. And you can't just engage and enlist. You also need to empower them. So people that are doing the work on your behalf need to get the same power that you have, or the same insight that drives you to drive them as well. And that's why when he left, he said, wait until Jerusalem, don't go anywhere. You will receive power. Then you can be my witnesses. That for every engagement, people need power. And some of those powers are available in this kind of courses in training. So how do you get power? Somebody buzzed me yesterday and said, please come and help me in my Zoom meeting. And I joined their Zoom meeting, said it's 15 minutes. And I joined their Zoom meeting. And when I got to Zoom meeting, I said, no, meet this person, make this happen, do this like this. And I was teaching her what to do with the Zoom. And quickly she did them. And I said, okay, meet yourself as well. There's no coming from your area. And then I spoke with them. And then she buzzed and said, that was my first time doing a Zoom meeting. Thank you for rescuing me. But guess what? She has done her Zoom meeting now. She's empowered. She can do Zoom meetings every day now if she wants to. Leaders envision, they engage, they enlist, they empower, they enable, and there's so many E's in what you find that leadership does. And you're going to be having them back to back over the course of the next 6 weeks. If you are not going to miss a class, and you're not going to miss a quiz, and you're going to be present for all that it takes, and you will answer the quiz that will be done after this class, can I get your yes in that window as I turn over the mic to MI for our parting shot? Because like I said, we're going to do this in 40 minutes and then we'll be done.
Okay, yeah. So my parting shot, I'll take my parting shot from where you stopped. But I'd like to talk about a characteristic I like a lot, which is execute. Execute is making things happen, okay? It's not sitting behind and saying, oh, okay, they are the ones. It's getting your hands dirty and getting the work done. And it's in getting the work done that I'm able to increase my influence. Those seeing me know that, I'm involved in what I'm doing and they are able to join me in the work as well. Okay, so my parting shot very quickly is where CM stopped, and that's talking about the fact that leadership can be learned. I don't know how excited you are to hear that leadership can be learned, because many times people just point fingers and say, yeah, those are the leaders. Dr. I know is the leader. Those are the leaders out there. I'm really not a leader. But it's so heartwarming. Is it not heartwarming for you to know that everybody can learn to be a leader? Leadership can be learned. you can grow in your leadership. That's really heartwarming. And if you're going to make a commitment to doing that, I'm sure you already wrote yes in the comment section, and you're going to commit yourself to learning, to growth, so that your influence can increase. I mean, if you are here today and you have at least one person that listens to you, then you are a leader. Amen. I know I'm not preaching, but I mean, I'm just saying that. Okay, if you have at least one person that listens to you at all in this whole world, okay? If you have at least one person that listens to you in this whole wide world, then you are a leader. Leadership is all about influence. Okay, if I can influence one person, then I can grow my influence. I can grow in my influence. I can grow in my leadership. And you want to ensure that you don't miss any of the sessions for the next 5 Mondays to learn about different things that you need to be able to put into practice as a leader so that you can grow your influence. When you grow your influence, then the things that you worry about will shrink, and the things that you control will increase. Your business will grow, your influence will grow, and you'll be a much more influential person who can make a lot more happen beyond the spheres of where you physically find yourself. So thank you very much for having me. I personally look forward to the next 5 weeks to grow my leadership as well. And the things that I learn, as I learn them, I put them to practice. I learn, I put to practice. And I dare say you're going to be a much, much better person by the end of this set of classes. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, great. So we're going to wrap it up today very quickly. Over the next few weeks, so starting from tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to have Alex Goma, the MD of Grand Cyril. He's going to take us on Envision tomorrow. And then next week, Monday, he will go further and take us on Engage and Enlist. And then after him, we're going to have the Marketing Director of British American Tobacco, who is going to take us on Empower. And then the next week, Monday, we're going to have keynote speaker after keynote speaker, the MD of Braincraft. We're going to have the MD of GB Foods. We're going to have the MD of Paradigm Initiative. We're going to have the Executive Director and MD of the group, TGI Group. We're going to have the Marketing Director of AB InDev. We're going to have so many of these people back to back. Now, this training is really, really for the Green Monday members, but it's by extension available to Green community members. It's by extension available to everybody. The people who will get certified by this are the people who change their ranks within the time that this course is going on. So if you're here in the house today, you need to change your rank. And the minimum rank acceptable for rank change is 1 star. Okay, so you need to do a minimum of 1 star to make that happen. It's going to be beautiful. One of the key things that happened for me early in my career was leadership. In my company that I used to work for, I got into the company when the company had already become 167 years old. They hired us directly from school. And one of the key things they always reinforce in our minds is we only hire leaders and we promote people from within to become leaders. So you need to grow your leadership. One of the questions they usually ask us when we came for the job interview then is, tell us about the time when you led. Tell us about the time when you had a vision. Tell us about the time when you got other people to go along with you in what you wanted to do. Tell us about the time when you worked with other people to achieve an objective. Tell us about the time when you came up with something creative. And these are all ideas around leadership, because what is important, the biggest deal, is not the people that you have, is the people that you have who are open up enough to allow leadership to be developed in them. Ladies and gentlemen, our business is only as big as the quality of leaders that we have. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest investments we want to make in this second half of 2020 is grow leaders. And one of the things you want to do for yourself, the best thing you can do for yourself, is become a leader who grows and duplicates himself in other leaders as well. Now, by the end of the month of April, of August, as we enter into September, we want to have Ruby directors. We want to grow people into the highest level of, into the earliest levels of directorship. We want to build people who will become super leaders. That's a vision. Okay, that's the vision. We want to have people who become super leaders. Are you one of them? Do you have what it takes? Now, what will make you one of them is that you catch the vision, that you are able to engage others, that you are able to execute with excellence, that you are able to enable, empower, enlist, embody, exemplify, and all the E's we're going to be talking about leadership, that you make sure that they are not just theories in your mind, but they are things that you are holding in your hand and you are going to make happen. So much more important than any other training that we're doing, this course on leadership. It's going to happen Mondays, Tuesdays. It's going to be power-packed, learning full, and it's going to be exciting. So I want to encourage everybody who is here in the leadership group. We're going to fill up the group as much as we can. That's where we'll be sharing the videos. So if you are not in the, so very quick announcement, if you are not in the leadership group, join the leadership group. That's where these videos will be shared. If you are not in the Google Classroom, join. The Google Classroom can only take a maximum of 250 people. After 250 people, nobody can join the Google Classroom anymore. So join the Google Classroom on time, log in, and enroll there. What else do you need to do? These are the key things that you need to do for this training. Leadership is crucial, okay? And some of these trainings, as they happen, we're going to distill the trainings into consumable materials that will make available for all the people that are graduating. This set is free. Many people who will come to these classes again and listen again, and it will not be free for them. Maximize this time. We want you to grow. We want you to develop. We want you to impact your community, impact your world. Not as somebody who is asking for favors, but somebody who is, as a leader, serving other leaders and training other leaders to serve as well. If you think you have what it takes to move at least 2 to 3 steps in your rank over the course of the next 2 months, can you type in that window there, I can, I will, I must. Type in there, I can, I will, I must. 2 to 3 levels forward. I can, I will, I must. Okay, I can see Wemi Ngwama saying, I can, I will, I must. James Osua, I can, I will, I must. Odolato, I can, I will, I must. Dr. General, I can, I will, and I must. And yes, we can.